Hello and welcome to the Kopala TV main news. We get straight into the headlines. PSZ requests government to re-procure insulin to cater for all diabetic patients. SACORD welcomes reports of the peaceful settlement of border dispute between Zambia and DRC. UPND demands a level playing field in the issuing of NRCs. In international news, Beirut faces rising poverty after blast. Join us in a bit after this. To present the Kopala TV main news, my name is Wabula Musongole. The Pharmaceutical Society of Zambia says it is requesting the government of Zambia to re-procure enough insulin to cater for all diabetic patients. PSZ President Jerome Kanyika said government institutions received some insulin, but the insulin received was not enough to cater for all diabetic patients. Mr. Kanyika said government should re-procure the amount of insulin they demanded as they were quantifying the drugs.
State that government institutions received some insulin, but the insulin that we received were not in enough stock to cater for all the diabetes patients. And the insulin that we received, we know people they use Ultrapid and Lente. These are they use them separately, but the one that we have received, it is the mixed one, a combined one that contains both the Ultrapid and the protafen. It's a combined insulin. That's the insulin that we have received, and we are encouraging and we are telling the members of the public as they go to the hospitals to get this insulin, they ask the pharmacist on how they can use this new insulin that they have been the government has bought for them, because they are changing the way they are going to take the insulin from where they are using each vial they inject, but now this is a mixed one, meaning that they need to change on the way they were doing. So they need to talk to the pharmacist and they'll help them out.
The Southern African Center for the Constructive Resolution of Disputes, SACORD, says it has taken note and welcomed the reports of the peaceful settlement of the border dispute between the Republic of Zambia and the Democratic Republic of Congo, DRC. SACORD Executive Director Boniface Chembe says Zambia, since independence, has practiced the foreign policy principle of good neighborliness, and this has contributed to the country being peaceful. Mr. Chembe said the border dispute between the two neighbors that had intensified created an environment of possible serious violence between the two countries.
SACORD takes note and welcomes reports of the peaceful settlement of the border dispute between the Republic of Zambia and the Democratic Republic of Congo, DRC. Zambia, since independence, has practiced the foreign policy principle of good neighborliness, and this has contributed to the country being peaceful. The border dispute between the two countries that had heightened created an environment of possible serious violence between the two neighbors. We are happy that Zambia and the DRC, through the assistance of the Southern African Development Community SADC mediation team, have managed to arrive at an amicable and peaceful solution to the border dispute. Peace is the only ingredient that provides any country an opportunity to develop. The peaceful border dispute between Zambia and the DRC now offers a conducive environment through which both countries can focus on achieving mutual development goals and progress that is in the interest of both countries and their people.
Moving on, Zambian DNA says the democratic space in Zambia has indeed expanded to the extent that civil society organizations, political parties and media houses are enjoying freedom of expression without interference. Zambian DNA spokesperson Spooky Mulemwa has, however, said that they have noted with concern how some citizens are abusing the freedom of expression and the media with impunity by relentlessly attacking the character of President Edgar Lungu and other government officials, yet no one has been arrested. Mr. Mulemwa said Zambian DNA is advising citizens to stick to core issues and refrain from character assassination of other people when expressing their point of view in the media. He said this in a statement made available to Kopala TV News. In case you have just tuned in, you are watching the Kopala TV main news. We break for commercials. We'll be right back.
Kopala TV, Kopala, ya buena mumwesu, Kopala. Kopala TV.
My number. Ishusho limentindeaza yama oji orushani. Kopala TV.
Yama oji. Imuntu wandi yesu. Fwebene by fwebene. Fwebene. I did the kalasti. Yako kopala futi yaba kopala.
Manje kuikatashani yoinai. Na ena ya kuntambo oroni jiviji.
Wala iwe. Ile sangwa patopsta decoder. Channel 98 paku. Ninshi yatubira. Puta menso ninshi yalila ni efidimbwi. Kule izimoli la femunjazi.
So yuri landati Kopala TV tayawanga yama boiling channel wako watu wachila tamba fe wino. Kwangwa filamba fyambo kupona. Uruwa mfotoro. Bantu ifuma chane we fingi. Fiamu pura fi.
Alola iwe. Kopala TV ni Kopala futi eile kuchalo. No shali mokuba molasti. Elo ile sansa Kopala yonse my number. Ukwambila fipa my number pandola. Lwansha. Kito paketi ke. Mufurila mufuken. Chingola pa chingo begi na chidila. Iwe. Kopala TV, liko.
Muntu wanja pakushongora fika top star we tatande tambela pofi Kopala TV. Pachani o 98 apa kude konkana ne charo bamba to bamba. Ni pate after pate. Wo, pate after pate. Wo. Kopala TV.
OG.
Kopala TV, available on Topstar Channel 98. Kopala TV, entertainment just for you.
Looking for an opportunity to grow your business? Well, Kopala TV has good news for all small-scale businesses. You can now advertise on Kopala TV's Makwebo. Bonseba na mayo na bashtata. Iseni mulangishe amakwebo yenu pamutengo uachepa nga 100 kwacha. Yes, you heard right. For as low as 100 kwacha, your business will get its peak. Whatever the business, we will advertise. All you need to do is send a text of what your business offers, indicating the name, location, and contact details to the number below. Payment for the advertising spot can be made through MTN mobile money on the number down below. Makwebo, make your business known.
One Zambia, one nation.
Zambia chalo chesu. Stop political violence.
I am Zambian. I am against political violence.
I am Zambian, and I say disarm all cadres now.
It's not one Zambia if we kill each other. Stop the violence.
It's not good killing one another as Zambians. Stop the violence.
Let's keep the peace in our streets. Let's work to stay one Zambia.
It's not one Zambia if we kill each other. Stop the violence.
Ndimwina Zambia. Lekeni ukulwa pamulandu wa politics.
Welcome back. A non-governmental organization, Copperbelt Development Foundation Limited, CDFL, officially handed over Buchi Youth Skills Training Center along with various training materials to Kitwe City Council. CDFL reconstructed the training facility at the cost of 1.9 million kwacha. This was disclosed during the handover ceremony held at Kitwe Youth Vocational Training Center on Friday last week. Details are in the following report.
The construction of a youth training skills center in Kitwe has fully taken its shape after 3 years of rehabilitation. A non-governmental organization, Kopala Development Foundation Limited (CDFL), disclosed that the training facility has been reconstructed at the cost of over 1.5 million kwacha. CDFL board chairperson Professor John Lungo says the youth training center is intended to provide skills to the youth.
Youth training center, as it has always been, is intended to provide skills to our youth so that, knowing the problems of today, we know that if the youth are empowered, they can make a better tomorrow for Zambia. It is necessary, I think, from the institutional point of view, that youth skills training be enhanced in the entire country. Because of unemployment, that issue can only be resolved if the youth had skills which they can use either to get employed or to use in their own enterprises.
And Kitwe City Council Local Government Administrator Adam Jere thanks CDFL for rehabilitating the school and officially handing it over to the council.
Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure this morning to officiate at this handover ceremony of the Buchi Youth Skills Center here in Kitwe. This center, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, has been reconstructed by the Kopala Development Foundation Limited, CDFL, and is today being handed over to your institution, which is Kitwe City Council, to basically manage on behalf of the Kitwe populace and specifically the youths. I must say that I am honored and delighted to be part of this historical event, to interact with mostly the youths who are the beneficiaries of this wonderful project that will see our youths equipping themselves with the skills that will benefit not only them, but also the populace of Kitwe and beyond, as well as the nation at large. Invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, above all the youth, I wish to indicate, hoping that you all agree with me, that world over, no country has attained human and economic development without the active participation of its youthful population. That is why our government is committed to ensuring that education, trade skills, and employment opportunities are given or created for the youths.
Meanwhile, Kitwe Youth Vocational Training Center expressed happiness and urged learners to guard the facility jealously for continuous sustainability.
We are grateful for being recipients of this beautiful facility and the training materials from the Kopala Development Foundation Limited, CDFL. Both have added value to the training center. The dream of having a better teaching and learning process is being realized today. To CDFL, we are saying huge thanks for making this dream a reality. Indeed, CDFL stands for improving lives. As we receive the tool today, it is my appeal to all, especially the beneficiaries, to jealously guard these facilities because they are not only for today, but also for the future generations. We need sustainability in their use.
On behalf of my fellow students on this joyous occasion, I would like to take this opportunity to thank CDFL for the construction of the new facility and renovation of the 2 workshops. CDFL has also procured training materials for all the skills. These will add value in skills development The teaching staff will also be motivated as they train students. I would like to end by imploring students to take good care of the facility and also utilize the knowledge and skills they gain from their teachers. Once again, on behalf of my fellow students, thank you.
Kitwe City Council appealed to various stakeholders to come on board and help government build more youth skills training center. Victoria Mukpo reporting in Kitwe.
The Opposition United Party for National Development UPND says it's demanding for a level playing field in the issuing out of NRCs and further demands that the Ministry of Home Affairs and Zambia Police immediately de-link the PF from the exercise, failure to which the UPND reserves the right to exercise a citizen's arrest on all PF officials that will be found in the vicinity of locations issuing out the cards. UPND Copperbelt Province Chairman Elisha Matambo said the party has the necessary manpower and the muscle to do so. Mr. Matambo says the PF party on the Copperbelt has hijacked the government-run exercise of issuing out national registration cards to the people by taking over the responsibilities and control of the process to favor only their members. The public administration norms of issuing out these cards is that authorized government officers conduct a mobile public address announcement to target communities prior to the date of the program.
The PF party on the Copperbelt has hijacked a government-run exercise of issuing out national registration cards to the people by taking over the responsibility and control of the process to favor only their members. The public administration norms of issuing out these cards is that authorized government officers conduct a mobile public address announcements to the targeted communities prior to the date of the program. In this particular case, the PF are engaged in a hide and seek and hit and run tactics, where they secretly inform their supporters of which physical locations they'll be issuing out the cards. We have received complaints from all Copperbelt province districts of the PF randomly issuing out the NRCs in secret and unannounced locations that are only known to their supporters, after which they quickly break camp and move to other unadvertised areas. This is criminality of the highest order and the pure rigging in process. UPND youths and ordinary Copperbelt residents vehemently reject this kind of behavior. We will not allow our citizens to be differentiated by criminals illegally carrying out government functions that are only favor their ink odd and to disadvantage our people.
And finally, in local stories, the Zambia Medical Association, ZMA, says it is aware of a video circulating online purportedly showing a patient disparaging medical officers at the University Teaching Hospital, UTH, casualty and emergency area. In a statement issued by ZMA Secretary General Dr. Masiku Piri, he said they are deep in the mud fighting the COVID-19 pandemic at a time where over 40 medical doctors have contracted COVID-19 in the line of duty and are currently under quarantine, battling depression and mental health because of what they have witnessed at the battlefront in the war against the coronavirus. Dr. Piri further said the ZMA has since launched its own investigation into the matter at hand in order to establish facts. In case you have just tuned in, you are still watching the Kopala TV main news. We break once more and return with international news.
Kopala TV, Kopala ya buena mumwesu Kopala.
My number ishusho limentindeaza yama oji urushani Kopala TV
yama oji imuntu wandi yesu fwebene by fwebene naidede kalasti yako Kopala futi yaba Kopala.
manje kuikatashani yoina naena ya kuntambo oro ni jiviji
wala iwe ile sango patop stad koda channel 98 paku ninshi yatolera puta mensa ninshi yalila ni evidimbwi kule izimuli la pemunjazi
so yulila ndati Kopala TV tayawanga ya boiling channel wako vatu wachila tamba fe wino kwangwa filamba fyambo kupona uruwa mfotoro bantu ifuma channel efingi fyamo pura fi
alula iwe Kopala TV ni Kopala futhi kuchalo no shali mokuba molasti elo ile sansa Kopala yonse my number ukwambila pepe my number pandula lwansha kito paketi ke mufudila mufuken chingola pa chingo begi na chidila iwe ni Kopala TV liko
muntu wanja pakushongora fika top star wetata ndetambira pofi Kopala TV pachani 98 pakude konkana ne charo bampa to bamba ni pate after pate wo pate after pate wo Kopala TV OG yeah.
Kopala TV available on Topstar channel 98. Kopala TV, entertainment just for you.
Looking for an opportunity to grow your business? Well, Kopala TV has good news for all small-scale businesses. You can now advertise on Kopala TV's Makwebo. Bonseba na mayo na bashtata. Iseni mulangishe amakwebo yenu pamutengo uachepa nga 100 kwacha. Yes, you heard right. For as low as 100 kwacha, your business will get its peak. Whatever the business, we will advertise. All you need to do is send a text of what your business offers, indicating the name, location, and contact details to the number below. Payment for the advertising spot can be made through MTN mobile money on the number down below. Makwebo, make your business known.
One Zambia, one nation.
Zambia chalo chesu. Stop political violence.
I am Zambian. I am against political violence.
I am Zambian, and I say disarm all cadres now.
It's not one Zambia if we kill each other. Stop the violence.
It's not good killing one another as Zambians. Stop the violence.
Let's keep the peace in our streets. Let's work to stay one Zambia.
It's not one Zambia if we kill each other. Stop the violence.
Ndimwina Zambia, lekeni ukulwa pamulandu wa politics.
Welcome back. In foreign news, as Lebanon's political elite negotiate a new prime minister and cabinet, more Lebanese are falling into poverty. For many, the explosion of 2,750 tons of ammonium nitrate at the port was the last straw. Many are relying on handouts from charities for the first time in their lives. We monitored Al Jazeera for this report.
Like many other Lebanese, Antoine Basile has always managed to get by, no matter what was thrown at him, be it conflict or economic crisis. But now it's different. I walked around 8 kilometers, he says, as he describes trying to get medical treatment in the aftermath of the port explosion that sent a devastating shockwave through Beirut.
Also, he has some injuries on his scalp as well, and on his eye.
70-year-old Antoine eventually found a hospital to treat the injuries to his head and arm. Now he relies on free help from volunteers to dress the wounds.
After the explosion, the whole story has changed, okay? As if the middle class has gone with the explosion. There's no middle class at all. So people are coming, seeking medical support, food, clothes, house cleanups, whatever you think the need just got bigger.
The blast destroyed or damaged around 50,000 homes, affecting 300,000 occupants. Lebanon's currency has lost 80% of its value against the dollar, and there are tight restrictions on how much people can take out of the banks. And inflation is running at almost 90%. So what little money there is, people need to spend it on daily necessities. There is no spare cash for rebuilding.
كل الستairs مني أنا دم blood from me, from my head.
Antoine worked 35 years in a bank. He saved and bought his own home. This is what's left of it. A dream of a quiet retirement with his wife Andrea and their 2 daughters is in tatters.
Presumptive Democratic presidential nominee Joe Biden looks to make it official this week when he formally accepts his party's nomination at the Democratic National Convention. Biden made history last week by naming California Senator Kamala Harris as his running mate. The first black woman and the first person of Indian descent on a presidential ticket this week also becomes part of a history-making, mostly virtual DNC. We monitored Voice of America for this story.
Former Vice President Joe Biden and Senator Kamala Harris made their first joint appearance in Wilmington, Delaware last week. This after the historic decision to name her as his running mate in the Democrats' effort to defeat Republican President Donald Trump in the November election. This election cycle, the Democratic National Convention, or DNC, selected Milwaukee, Wisconsin as the host city. But concerns of COVID-19 moved most of the official nominating ceremony online. It will still feature party heavyweights, past and present, from former Democratic presidential nominee Hillary Clinton and former President Barack Obama to Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, the first-term representative from New York. Former presidential candidate and current Senator Bernie Sanders says Harris bolsters the party's ticket.
I believe that Kamala is, as somebody who has known her for a number of years, incredibly smart, incredibly tough. And I would not like to be Vice President Pence in a debate with her. I think she's an asset for the Biden campaign, and I think she's going to do great on the campaign trail.
Finally, in foreign news, at least 18 people were shot and 4 killed as gunfire erupted in several places around Ohio City overnight, authorities said on Sunday. 3 people were shot at about midnight on Saturday in the Walnut Hills neighborhood, about a block away from the Harriet Beecher Stowe house, police said. News outlets reported the shootings took place between 60 to 90 minutes of each other, but Assistant Police Chief Paul Newdigate told reporters that they seemed to be separate, independent incidents, but horrific and tragic. Police did not immediately provide details about the 4th fatal shooting, but confirmed that it occurred on the city's West End, where television news reports indicated that one person was shot later Sunday morning and was pronounced dead at the scene. Mayor John Cranley called it senseless gun violence that ruins lives and will cause immeasurable suffering at a time the city was facing unprecedented circumstances and challenges in fighting crime during the COVID-19 pandemic. He said the city has seen an uptick as people gather in private homes and public places when the bars close. In July, the Inquirer reported that the city had experienced a rise in shootings and homicides from gun violence during the first half of the year as compared to the same time period in 2019. We monitored WLWT5 for this report.
Just blocks away at Lynn Street in the West End, we also know another individual shot and pronounced dead at that location. This is all in part of a 90-minute stretch of gun violence Assistant Chief Newdigate describes as one of the most violent he has seen in his long career. We know that the violence begins in the city of Cincinnati just around 12 o'clock, just after midnight in Walnut Hills. There, 3 people shot, Lincoln and Gilbert. About a half an hour later, we see gun violence again erupting in Avondale, where Cincinnati Police District 4 officers responding to gunfire at Chalfonte at Reading Road. At that location, we know that at least 4 people were shot, 2 people now pronounced dead from that location. In what has been a very, very violent series of events again in the last 2 hours in the city of Cincinnati, beginning from about 12 midnight until 2. This gun violence, again, is overwhelming the city of Cincinnati. This year, we'd already seen a very violent uptick in murder. About 60 homicides already this year going into this weekend, including a 15-year-old shot on the west side, 17-year-old shot on the west side. Aubrey McCarter. Again, it has been a violent stretch, again, in the city of Cincinnati as police continue their investigation, asking anyone with information regarding these latest shootings to contact Crime Stoppers.
What we have is one extremely violent night in the city of Cincinnati, looking at possibly 17 victims, up to 4 that could be fatal at this time. And why? That's going to be the question, and we just don't know.
That concludes the Kopala TV main news for today, but before we go, we take a look at our stories that made headlines. PSZ requests government to re-procure insulin to cater for all diabetic patients. SACORD welcomes reports of the peaceful settlement of border dispute between Zambia and DRC. UPND demands a level playing field in the issuing of NRCs. In international news, Beirut faces rising poverty after blast. Thank you for watching the Kopala TV main news. My name is Wawila Musongole, and God bless.